Buy now, pay later apps are proving popular with millennials by feeding their desire for instant gratification. Users can download and sign up to the apps in a matter of seconds with often no credit checks, enabling them to make snap decisions on purchases. But are the payment platforms just another all-too-convenient way to gorge on debt with a side dish of late fees to boot? That's what consumer advocates, not all of whom are tut-tutting baby boomers, are asking following the extraordinary success of Afterpay, the app that allows consumers to purchase now with repayments over the following several weeks. While Afterpay is the clear market leader, there are others looking to get a piece of the action. Modern layby Afterpay argues it's a modern-day layby service. It allows immediate purchase of the good or service that is paid off in 4 equal fortnightly installments over the next 8 weeks for established customers. With traditional layby, the consumer usually only takes possession of the good following the final repayment. The installments are automatically deducted from the nominated debit or credit card account every fortnight. It started out as a payment service for online retailers but has since expanded to bricks-and-mortar retailers like Topshop, Q and General Pants Co. More than 1 million people have transacted at least once on the platform, over 7,000 retail brands have signed up to it, and more than $1.20 billion a year in sales are facilitated through the platform. Afterpay received a further boost very recently with low-cost airline Jetstar and store giant Target joining the payments platform. Jetstar bookings are limited to domestic flights of between $200 and $1,000, while no interest is charged to consumers. There is a flat $10 fee on a missed payment and a further flat $7 a week later if the scheduled payment has still not been made. That means a customer who misses all 4 installments would pay a total late fee of $68 for each transaction, regardless of the size of the transaction. If a customer is late with repayments, the Afterpay app blocks the customer from making another purchase. Nick Molnar is founder of fintech Afterpay. Photo supplied. Nick Molnar, co-founder and head of Afterpay, says about 20% of its revenue comes from late fees and about 80% from retailers who pay a fee to use the platform. Our average order value is $140. We are about life's little luxuries and little necessities and not the big-ticket items, he says. Budgeting Sydney gym owner Luke Champion, 24, came across Afterpay when he was buying some sport shoes on his favorite retailer site, The Iconic. That was 6 months ago, and he has been using Afterpay for purchases on the site ever since. He likes the fact that he makes relatively high repayments over a short period. I like spending $50 every fortnight, rather than $200 in one hit. It helps me to budget, Luke says. I could do the same thing with a credit card, but it just makes me feel a little more comfortable in making an unnecessary purchase. Luke Champion, in his Potts Point gym, has used the Afterpay app to buy sport equipment. Photo Janie Barrett. Luke uses Afterpay for his purchases from The Iconic, on things like shoes and exercise gear, and doesn't use Afterpay anywhere else. He prefers to use Afterpay even if he has the money to pay for the items up front. I can buy something at 9 in the morning and can have it in my hand by lunchtime, Luke says. I don't have to spend all the money at once and it comes really quickly. In the 6 months Luke has been using Afterpay, he has not missed a repayment. Karen Cox, the coordinator at the Financial Rights Legal Centre in Sydney, says Afterpay and its competitors encourage the purchase of items that the consumer often does have the money to buy straight away. For the smaller amounts of a couple of $100s this does not seem too bad, but it's a definite concern for larger purchases of $1,000 to $10,000, Cox says. Bessie Hassan, money expert at comparison site Finder, says buy now pay later platforms can certainly be a convenient option, particularly for those who can manage their cash flow responsibly. However, consumers should ensure they use them wisely to avoid being stung with late payment fees, she says. Jetstar is one of the companies that uses Afterpay. Photo supplied. The key is to live within your means. If you can't afford it now, perhaps you can't afford it, full stop, she says. Don't view this option as a shortcut. You will have to pay it back entirely within the required time frame, Hassan says. Credit rating retailers on the Afterpay platform have a limit per transaction of $1,500, with most having a limit of $1,000. Cox says even with smaller amounts, consumers have to be careful as they risk damage to their credit report if they can't pay back in accordance with the terms. Molnar argues its customers are financially responsible adults and savvy spenders looking to secure their next fashion purchase or travel adventure today. He says that 85% of Afterpay transactions are paid off with debit cards, rather than credit cards. Mitchell Watson, the research manager at comparison website CanStar, says while these buy now, pay later apps may not charge interest, you can still be stung with late fees. And these fees can have a similar impact to paying interest, he says. If you make repayments using a credit card, you could end up with long-term and expensive credit card debt, he says. OpenPay's business model is similar to Afterpay's, but allows for more expensive purchases than the maximum $1,500 per purchase limit of Afterpay. The consumer chooses the frequency of repayments and period of time over which the purchase is paid off. OpenPay may charge a processing fee of up to $4 for each purchase with repayment plans with longer terms. There could be an initial deposit that the consumer has to make on opening an account. There can be an establishment fee and there are late fees. Line of credit Zip Money is different again. The company has two offerings. There's the same named Zip Money, which is a line of credit up to where interest is charged after 3 months, though there are longer promotional periods before interest is charged. Peter Gray, the company's co-founder and director, says the interest rate is 19% a year with less than 15% of customers paying interest. It has been going for 4 years and has more than 5,000 stores accepting the payment platform. There are credit checks on customers who use Zip Money. ZipPay is a digital wallet with a line of credit up to $1,000 after the initial fee-free period. If there is a balance owing on the first of each month, there is a flat $5 fee, but no interest. There can be credit checks for those using ZipPay. Minimum monthly repayments are required on both offerings.